Guten Tag to all my German viewers. Today's Battlefield 3 loadout is going to feature Germany's KSK. I've covered the KSK or Kommando Spezialkraft once before back in Modern Warfare 3 when I did a KSK class setup. But the KSK has always been on my list for these Battlefield 3 loadouts, and I've seen it suggested a number of times in the comments section of my previous videos. So let's jump straight in and take a look at the weapons and accessories we're going to run for this KSK loadout. We're going to run the engineer kit in order to equip the G36C. Although the real life KSK do use the G36C, all photos and documentation usually show the full-size G36K rifle. So for this loadout I'm going to use accessories to kind of mimic the setup of the G36K rifles used by the KSK. So first up for the optic we'll go with the EOTech holographic sight. You don't have to look far to see the holographic sight appear on all the photos of KSK operators and their G36Ks. Another accessory you commonly see on those KSK G36K rifles is a foregrip. The G36 doesn't have an ergonomically shaped forestock, so you'll often see operators either use a foregrip attachment or steady the rifle with a grip on the magwell. Then because in game we've only got the G36C, the carbine variant of the G36 rifle, we'll use the heavy barrel to mimic that G36K. With a shorter carbine weapon you're not going to have quite as high accuracy as you would with a full-size rifle, so while that heavy barrel in game is going to increase our recoil, it will grant us that increased aimed fire accuracy. For the sidearm, it's a shame we don't have H&K's USP pistol, as that's what we really require for an authentic KSK loadout. But instead we can borrow the Glock 17 from across Germany's border over in Austria. Just like that USP, the Glock's slightly more squarish in design, so out of all the options we've got available as sidearms in Battlefield 3, this is probably the closest match. So moving on, let's take a look at some specialisations and gadgets and camo we can use for our KSK loadout. Other than choosing the engineer kit to use the G36 rifle, we can make some relations to the real life KSK, in that each group member from each squad is often trained as either a weapons expert, a medic, a combat engineer or a communications expert. So we'll set up our engineer kit in Battlefield 3 to both support our own vehicles and destroy the enemy's armour. So first up for gadget number 1 we'll go with the launcher that is actually used by the KSK, and that's the FIM-92 Stinger. I was tempted to run the SMAW or the RPG to represent the Panzerfaust RPG, but that Stinger is going to be much more beneficial to deal with enemy air support on those wide open maps on Conquest or Rush. And for gadget number 2, because we're supporting our team's vehicles, we'll just run the standard repair tool. To further relate to this engineer's role, we'll run the explosion specialisation. This is going to give us an extra few rockets in our Stinger, so we can take down twice as many aircraft. Then to finish off this KSK loadout we'll need some camo to equip to our character. The authentic camo for German forces is that classic Flecktarn pattern. With Battlefield 3 featuring the US and Russian forces, we don't have the official Flecktarn pattern, but we can make choices of something similar from what's available, and the closest match is that woodland pattern. That modern Flecktarn pattern is made up of greens, blacks and like an orangey brown, all of which are mushed together in a kind of speckled effect. So that woodland pattern in Battlefield 3 kind of relates to this. It's kind of a mix between both the US and the Russian versions, where we've got those colours from the US side and more the pattern from the Russian side. But that's about it for my KSK loadout for Battlefield 3. If you have some fun with this loadout, or if you just enjoyed my video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up down below just to help spread the word and share the video with your friends. A few more military forces that are on my list are the Finnish Jaeger, the Swedish SOG, and maybe even the US Army Rangers. So let me know down in the comments which one of these sounds particularly exciting to you, or if you've got suggestions for other forces you'd like to see me cover, feel free to add them down in the comments too. If you want to see what loadouts I've done before, don't forget to check out that playlist, links down in the description. And also let me know if you like these real life themed loadouts, or whether you prefer if I created some more fun or even useful setups for Battlefield 3. While you're browsing through that description, give those links to Twitter and Facebook a click. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all later.